Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
Welcome. You are tuned in to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon here from the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California on Universal Broadcasting Network, and every Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Saturdays at 1 p.m. on my syndicated CNBC News Radio channel KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and as of 2 weeks ago, I am now bumped up to iHeartRadio. So thank you so much, listeners. And my YouTube views have gone now over 50,000. I am so grateful. Can we give like a huge round of applause to all of my supporters, to Jarvis Essex, to Tony Sweet, to Fred Lundgren, Mark Westwood, Carlos and Mike Lundgren, thank you so much for all of your support in making this happen, because I could not do it with all of the people that work on my team. So thank you. And let's see. Today's show, what are we doing? First of all, I had a blast this weekend. I have to give a peace in, peace out, shout out to all of the fabulous students and advisors that I got to play with on Saturday at the Los Alamitos High School Model United Nations Conference, our second one. I get to be a booster mom and help out, and the kids did an amazing job. We had wonderful support by the Board of Education Supervisor Dr. Sherry Kropp, all of the students that worked tirelessly and were, I am so proud that my kids are both involved, not just in sports, but in a club that is a combination between debate and world events. My older one was the vice chair in the WHO, World Health Organization, talking about how to deal with mental illness with international refugees. I mean, come on a Saturday all day. My younger daughter was the legal in another group that talked about, I can't even remember which one that was. I'm sure it was, I know, how to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder in refugees. I mean, come on. These are my teenage girls that get to do this. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out. Thank you to the over 300 kids that came and gave their best. And there is hope for our young kids in the future. Absolutely. And so if you have a child at school, and I know I try not to be a tiger mom, but if you are trying to recover but still want to have some influence, get them involved in Model United Nations. You won't regret it. All right, there's my commercial for that. Also, I have a guest today, and my show is about hope and happiness, and my favorite kind of guest is those who have been in the spotlight, who are in the spotlight, who take their light and shine it and help dispel darkness and help where they came from and do things that make them a beneficial presence on the planet. And today is absolutely no exception to the rule. I found Ron Brown actually through another fabulous organization called the Champion Fund, and I got to sing 3 years ago at their gala, and they raised funds, and Ron will tell us about that. They're recognizing Ron Brown, who is an NFL fastest man competition winner, chosen All-Pro, record-breaking wide receiver. If you're a Raiders or Rams fan, I don't even have to say anything anymore. And he's also an Olympic gold medalist, and now addresses issues of social inequity in his retirement. He's the business affairs director for the NFL Goals for Life, mentoring at-risk children, and involved in Teen Savers, Project Touch, supporting homeless centers, Choices and Interactive Decision-Making Workshop to achieve academic success, and Brown and Association supporting neighborhood recovery programs, assisting with foreclosure, short sales, and first-time home buyers. So you can tell that he kind of qualifies on my list as a great guest. So without further ado, please welcome to the studio, Ron Brown.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
And so I have a friend. She does not have an answering machine. She has a questioning machine. And when you call her, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So Ron Brown, who are you and what do you want?
That's interesting. Yeah, my name is Ron Brown. I'm here from NFL Retired Players Congress on behalf of Randy, who's a good friend of mine, who heads the Champion Fund at Children's Hospital. And when I found out about the Champion Fund, I felt that I need to get involved with that because it's a great cause. And we're here to bring more awareness to it and to raise money to help support it.
Beautiful. So tell me about the Champion Fund.
The Champion Fund is helping at-risk youth, but it's also more than that. It does a lot with kids with suicide, a lot of kids with transgender that's having challenges with that, which is my favorite topic. Randy and I talk a lot about that because I'm getting more educated in that space. And just all the different things that our kids go through today that didn't have when we were coming up, dealing with social media and being exposed to so much and trying to find themselves.
Where did you grow up?
I'm from Inglewood.
Okay, so
Yes.
I was told yesterday that was called The Wood.
The
I have a
Wood.
friend
Yes.
that lives there. And so have you always wanted to help, or did that come from what?
Yeah, actually, yes, sir, yes, it has been like on my heart to always help somebody, to help people. For some reason, when I was in like the 7th grade, my grandmother had told me that, people don't really care what you do, it's what you do for others that makes a difference on this planet. And that's what you want to be remembered by. And that's always stuck with me for some reason,
So it wasn't enough that you won an Olympic gold medal. It wasn't enough that you got awards in the NFL. You wanted to do more.
Yeah, because, I think that was the platform that God put in my place for me to reach others.
Interesting. And so let's go back. I like to go back to the beginning. Tell me about football. Because you're my first NFL player. And before when we started, he's like, why? What have you got against NFL players? I've got nothing against NFL players. You are the first. I understand that you won't be the last. But I have an interesting relationship with football. I'll put the moose on the table and do a little confession here. The only time football has been interesting for me is when I was single, and I knew that if I went to football at a bar on a Sunday, that I probably have a date the next week. I can't believe I just said that on the air.
Yeah.
But that's the truth.
Okay. Did it work for you?
Yeah, it worked for many
okay.
years. Yeah. So there you go. But it is an interesting game. What made you want to be a football player?
I've always liked the excitement of the game, and then as I got older, I learned how the fundamentals of football, if you take the same fundamentals of football, what it takes to be a great football player, you can apply that to your lifestyle and it'll be successful in life also.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Like?
Well, the camaraderie that goes along with it, the discipline that goes along with it, the hard work, the teamwork, doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. And that falls along the same categories that I use with my kids. And, we have to do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do. And football is like that, though. Football is not just a game. It's a lifestyle.
Interesting. Now, did someone make you do it, or you like to do it, or?
No, actually, no. It was just fun. We just played.
Okay.
We actually played tackle football in the street in my neighborhood. So,
And how did you know that you wanted to do this professionally?
I think that one time I was watching Monday Night Football, and I watched one of the guys say, "Hi, Mom," and I said, "I'm going to do that one day. I'm going to do that." I told my mother that I'm going to be there one day.
And did you do it?
I did.
Did you do Hi Mom?
I sure did.
Oh, that's so cute. And then you went to Arizona State University and broke records that still stand to this day.
Yeah, I still have records at Arizona. We just had a little alumni golf tournament this past week. I got a chance to see some of my old alumni brothers. It was good to see them.
That's great. And if you've tuned in just now and you're wondering who I get to talk to, an NFL player who I've never had an NFL player here, but he's also a gold medal winner and a philanthropist. And I wanted to have him on, and we're talking about how he got into football. And then here's the interesting twist. You got drafted, a second draft pick, if I got my facts in my research right, from Cleveland Browns, not a bad team. And you said no because you wanted to stay amateur so you could compete in the Olympics.
Right.
Because you were a runner as well as a
Exactly.
football player, because you follow my own life motto, which is don't die wondering.
Right. No, that's true.
Right?
Very
right?
true.
Right.
Absolutely.
That was, and I'm sure you heard a raft load of what are you doing?
Yeah, a bunch of that though. It was a very, very hard but very easy choice for me though. What happened with me is that the Olympics were coming up the following year, and I wanted to make the Olympic team, try my skills at the Olympic team. I felt that football would still be there, but the Olympics come around every 4 years, and didn't really know exactly what was in front of me, but I had faith and trust in God that it would work out for me, and it did.
Wow. Yeah. So you ran. You were a runner, right? Do you still run?
I still train. So, and sometimes in that training, I have to demonstrate. But I try not to do too much of that.
You have a goal. You really have nothing to prove, right?
Right.
You can't beat that.
I tell my son that. My youngest son, too, is a pretty decent football player. I tell him that all the time, too. I go, man, look, I've done this already. Got paid for it. It's your turn. You know what I mean? Don't let me get up and have to show you everything.
That's great. So you go to the Olympics. Was that, the movies that you watch about it's not that straight of a, who gets to run. So even the fact that you got to run the relay, was that a slam dunk? Did you know already that you were going to be in that?
No, actually, yeah, I knew I was going to be on the relay team. But what happened making the team was the hardest challenge.
I bet.
Because everybody who was somebody was in the Olympic trials. And they only take the top 3, the fastest 4. So I remember the last 10 seconds, one race, that was it. You either make it or you don't.
Wow.
And I almost psych myself out because typically when I get on the track, I think I'm the fastest guy there anyway. Even if I don't win, I think I'm the fastest guy there.
Okay. So there's one key to success.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody else says.
Yeah, it starts with you.
It starts with you.
It starts with you. You
If
have
you
to believe
think-
in you. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I was able to take third in that race, which qualified me for the team. And I ran the 100 and the 4x100 relay. I took fourth in the 100.
Okay. Almost.
I know it, right? Only in horseshoes. But it was fun, though. We had a good time running, though. And then and as far as the 4x100 relay, the main thing we were just get the stick around, and try to break the world record, and we did.
So who believed in you that much that you could believe in yourself?
I have a lot of aunts and uncles.
Okay.
Yeah. My mother comes from a big family. They used to kind of keep me on track. Yeah. My uncle used to slap me around a lot.
Oh, that kind of belief in you.
Yeah, that kind of belief. Yeah, he used to come to the neighborhood looking for me.
Really? To make sure you were on the straight and
Make
narrow?
sure I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But it was
Wow.
good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father was very instrumental, too, in my life, too, though. My parents broke up when I was in the 3rd grade, though, but they both were instrumental in my life as far as helping me make choices, understanding that making one bad choice can turn a dream into a nightmare. So, but, as a kid, I still want to take shortcuts. So, but as God would have it, he had a purpose for me. So,
Yep.
kept me on track.
Yeah.
Even when I would get off track, he would bring me back
Interesting. What would you say your purpose is then?
to help people. Yeah, to make a difference.
To make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Emerson quote that says, "Success is to know that one life has breathed easier because you have lived." That is
Right.
success. I love that saying.
Amen.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We got that. That's great. So you have kids.
I do.
How many?
Have 5, 3 boys and 2 girls, and 2 grandkids.
And 2 grandkids.
Yeah.
Wow. Oil of Olay.
I know it. They're in my heart though now. The grandkids are the best.
Oh,
Yeah, my kids are. I think my youngest is 20.
So what do you teach kids who didn't have an uncle that kept them straight, who didn't have a mother and a grandmother who believed in them? What do you tell those kids?
That is, it's easy to do nothing, but even doing nothing, you'll get tired of that. I said to you, when you wake up every morning, have a game plan for yourself. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have choices on the way, and make sure that your choices are successful choices. You know, and the main thing is just to believe in yourself. You know, it starts with you.
What if someone has been brought up in a place where they cannot believe in themselves because either they were told that they were worthless, or they were hurt, or they were left, or they were abused? What do you tell a child who cannot find a way to believe in themselves?
Keep God first. Prayer is strong. And faith is one of those things like air, you don't see it, but it meets right in the crossroads of trust and belief. And when you can get your hands around that, when you can get your brain to understand that God has a purpose for your life, and this isn't it, and that every day you get a chance, but you have to be ready and prepared for when you do get that chance. You know, and, you know, you want to be a hero. You know, you want to be a leader.
What's going on right now? You know, one of the things that I read in your bio was your particular investment in righting social inequity. Let's talk about that for a minute, because we have the time, which is good. How do you think we get to a place where we don't have Rayshawn Martins, or we don't have, all white winners of awards at the Oscars? Let's go at different levels, because this is a systemic issue. So what do individuals do? What should groups do? What should our country do? What should our world do to resolve or to move forward in social inequity?
One thing that I've been experiencing is that everything seems to be a business. You know, from churches to schools to everything that's in front of you has a monetary value to it. That's really not important, because you can't take anything with you. But because we put a number on everything, our prison systems, our school systems, kids got to go to school, perfect attendance, you know, those kind of things. You know, people tend to put that first. And if we can just start to just love one another and to start looking out for one another, the rest, I think, will fall in place. I think that when we start having that selfish thing, when it's about me and not about you, then everything else dominoes the other way. You know, and I've been just kind of experiencing some of our kids in our schools, and I know we're losing some of our youth, and I watch our young kids too, and I always tell them, I said, well, if you were a corporation and you walked in with your pants sagging, would you hire you? You know, so if you wouldn't hire you, why should I? You know, so we try to bring it back to reality and try to make, you know, understanding that it's important.
Your choices are important.
Very important.
What you want to portray is important.
You get one chance to make a first impression, and you never know when that opportunity is gonna bring itself to front, and then here you are looking like that.
Right.
Because I remember one time when I was with my son and we were driving, I left something, I had to circle back and go to him, and at this time he decided to pull his pants down and have his house, and my wife said, "Where's Kennedy?" I said, "There he is right there." And she said, "That's not him." I said, "Yes, that's him. He's in character right now." So I blew the horn. He turned around and turned his hat right and pulled his pants up. I said, "See, he's in character." Because that's who he is when you're not around. And that's important. Who you are when you think nobody's looking.
Interesting. Now, that's one side where if you take responsibility for what you want to communicate and portray, right? So I know there's some young people that blame the system, you know, they blame all the things that are around them, and they don't want to take responsibility. So your wise counsel just now is watch what you are communicating, what you're asking for. What about people who, and I'm thinking specifically of a couple of examples of men that I know, young men who are young black men, and they are not gangbangers, they're not drug addicts, they're not anything, and they get pulled over and asked to spread their legs and get, roughed up because they look like someone who's a criminal. And they're pissed. And they are, they're trying, but now they've lost that bit of faith.
Yeah, but that's important too, though, and I experienced that too, because I'm one of those kids, and I still get pulled over. I mean, I live in, Diamond Bar, so it's predominantly Asians, and the sheriffs over there, they profile, but there's two sides to that coin, though. I'm all for Black Lives Matter. I think all lives matter. I tell my boys too. I said, if he pulls you over, and you weren't doing anything, just follow directions. He can only do so much. Follow directions. There's no sense for you to, first of all, he has a gun. And secondly, he's an authority. So just listen to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let him, feel like, okay, well, I did this one wrong. But sometimes they're right. Like I deal with kids all the time. We have one of the largest gang intervention programs in LA. My cousin runs one in Crenshaw called Developing Options, and another friend of mine has another one in LA. And these kids are killing kids. They're just killing each other, and these police officers have to deal with that. So they don't know what's in front of them when they get there. His day is different than your day. Your day is just dealing with your friends and your homeboys and hanging out. His day is dealing with and trying to protect the community. And sometimes they go overboard, and there's some good ones and there's some bad ones, but that's like in any business. You have your good ones and you have bad ones. I'm not. I think they can make better choices, the police officers, when it comes to actually killing somebody, taking a life like that. I don't know if they're getting awards for that. I don't know why they're so quick to do that. But I know one thing: if you made it to where a police officer had to have insurance, he would think twice before pulling that trigger. If he had to have his insurance, see, right now it just costs the community, taxpayers. So when you sue him now, the taxpayers pay. If he had to pay, or if his insurance company had to pay, meaning that he couldn't be a police officer if he didn't have insurance, he would think twice before he pulled that trigger. Right now, it doesn't cost him anything.
That's a really interesting point.
It doesn't cost him anything right now. The taxpayers pay. He gets laid off, and most of the time they get laid off with pay.
Interesting.
So if you change the dynamics of certain things, you can tweak it just a little bit.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it'll make them think twice, because now his job is at jeopardy.
Right. Now, there are, I've heard, that's a nice balanced solution. And then I've heard people react to, well, you're siding with the enemy.
Who's the enemy?
So the enemy would be anyone who is taking away my right to just be okay. So you bust me for no reason, and it's wrong. So your explanation just now sort of balances, and you have to sort of see where they're coming from. It's their job to protect the community, and sometimes they go too far, but for the most part, they're doing their job. So then there will be some who will say, because I've heard this sort of dialogue, someone will say, you as a black man are siding with the enemy. So
yeah, I don't look at them as the enemy, though. That's the only difference. And I understand what you're saying. But I get pulled over all the time. I used to low ride, so I've been pulled over probably more than everybody.
Okay.
So, and I always tint my windows too, so I get pulled over for that. But I've been pulled over enough times, and I've had situations where I've gotten upset about being pulled over. Like I was on my way to a meeting, and I watched them make a U-turn just specifically to pull me over for no reason, just to see, because a lot of times they pull you over just to see if you have a warrant, and the other thing that I have been challenges with is recreation drug thing, this marijuana thing that these kids, and I tell my kids all the time, listen, that's a trap, man. I said, because it's a DUI. It's a privilege in this country to have a license in anything. Driver's license, building license, construction license, dental, any license in this country is a privilege. It's not mandatory. So when you jeopardize that by deciding this recreation stuff, even these kids that I see that, in the draft, NFL says no marijuana. If you want to play in this game, there's only 1,800 jobs. Then you have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
That's one. And if that's too big for you to get these millions of dollars, then this game wasn't for you. Yeah. So until they change that rule, because that's their rule,
Right.
and I understand that if fair or not fair, it doesn't matter.
If
That's
you want
their,
fair, go to Pomona.
pick a different sport.
Right.
This particular sport says no to that right now.
Yeah.
It may change later, but for right now, make that sacrifice.
Okay.
It can't be that important.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you think you will see social equity in your lifetime? And what needs to change?
It's gonna be tough though. But when I've been watching at the school level, I know when they took God out of our schools and wondering why all hell is breaking loose. It's been a challenge ever since then. So when I watch our kids kind of grow up without having faith, without having two parents in the household, and without that male figure, that male positive role model, it's an uphill battle. It's not impossible though, because everything is like everybody said, I found God. Well, he never was lost. And I find myself when I get sideways that I need to, bring my faith back. My grandmother's foundation comes back. So that foundation is very important, though. But our culture fiber in our neighborhoods has been broken. I'm watching our neighborhoods change from homeowners to renters. We will become generational renters now, the way the home situation is.
Did you watch The Big Short? That was a very interesting movie.
No, I didn't see that one. Was it good? I need to see that one.
Yeah, it really helped me understand what happened in the housing collapse and our role in that.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot though. We have a friend of mine has a documentary called "Cracking the System" right now that talks about a lot about our communities, how they put the drugs in our community to fund the Nicaragua war at the time, and and the problem that I have with it is that was done and it's been proven, but nobody has done anything to fix it. I said, well, they had an oil leak and they charged them guys $300 million to fix that. They should give us at least $1 billion to build our communities back with small businesses and small owners. Because, see, there's never going to be another time in my lifetime that interest rates are going to be this low. And most of our neighborhood credit are challenged. So they're not able to go to the B of A's and chase to get home loans anymore. I'm watching them build this big old stadium in Inglewood. Inglewood is a war zone. There's a lot of different gangs right there in that area. And regardless of what they say about, crime rate is down and that kind of stuff, yeah, it is, or not reported. But, we deal with this thing on a day-to-day basis, though. And I'm watching these kids on a day-to-day basis. I'm watching how non-important education is. Education is very, very important. Prisons are built on lack of education.
Interesting.
So all our kids really need to be educated. If nothing else, find a trade. So one of our programs, we're trying to get trade schools into our middle schools. And I think it's important too for our kids. I'm trying to get Spanish taught to our preschool kids because we teach the Latin kids English, but we're not teaching our American kids Spanish, and they need to know a second language. You're going to have a second language in this country to go further.
I think you need to go into politics. You have systemic solutions. That's what I really, really like. Yeah, interesting. So I want to come back on another thing that just went into my mind. You're with the NFL Retired Association.
Retired Players Congress.
Okay. Are you involved at all with the whole concussion thing? That's something I've always wanted to talk about on the air, and I'm just waiting for somebody who knows somebody. So maybe I thought, hey, maybe we can start talking about this now.
Yeah.
So what's up with that?
Well, if you play this game, you're going to suffer concussion.
Yeah, that's what.
You're going to suffer concussion. The game is it's a violent game. It's a fast-paced game. It's a fast-thinking game. And you're going to have head-to-head collisions, or you're going to get sidetracked or something like that. Something's going to happen where you're going to suffer concussion in this game. You play it long enough. One of the things that the Congress is doing is we're finding solutions to that. So we've been dealing with UCLA, USC Medical, and Yale and all that as far as finding solutions to that, because a lot of single moms are pulling their kids out of school by the football.
Yeah.
And statistics show that if a kid isn't playing football or watching football by the age of 10, not only will he not be a football player, he won't even be a fan. because they have action sports. You know, you could be a Tony Hawk or you can be something else before you can be a football player, because it's only 1,800 jobs. There's only so many Peyton Mannings out there. So, you know, you're going to have to make better choices as far as the treatment to this.
Yes,
so we're
absolutely.
putting treatment centers together. We find that hyperbarics and CVAC machines are being very successful in that. And we work with a lot of veterans.
That's good. That's good to hear. And I want to come back a little more because I still don't understand how our society glorifies things that hurt people. But we'll come back with that. I'm going to leave that before the break. This is the time where we thank the sponsors that make this show possible. And we'll be back in 2 and 2. Peace in and peace out. Want to be part of the 17th annual Newport Beach Film Festival? Well, you can join Dr. Marissa on the red carpet on April 25th when the Asian Oprah introduces the international Chinese spotlight film Go Away, Mr. Tumor. Newport Beach Film Festival celebrates diversity, art, and is the fastest growing film festival on the West Coast. So get your tickets now for the film and gala, following with gourmet food and entertainment at www.newportbeachfilmfest.com. Want to be part of... And welcome back. You are tuned in to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. Every Tuesday at Naturally High Noon on UBN Radio TV out of the Sunset Gower Studios, and every Thursday at 7, Saturday at 1 on my syndicated CNBC News Radio channel, AM 1050 KCAA and 106.5. And now on iHeartRadio, and we have NFL, Olympic winner, and philanthropist, and if I can talk him into it, future politician. And we're not even talking about football. I'm so grateful that we get to actually talk not that football isn't meaningful, but things that matter around individual responsibility as well as how to begin to resolve the social inequity. So we stopped talking at the concussion point of things in football. And I do want to know, I mean, what is our fascination with boxing that, you know, Muhammad Ali obviously suffered and transitioned from the sport and the damage from the sport. We know now what football does. Why do we continue to absolutely want to keep this around?
We just like violence, so we really do. This country is built on that. Yeah, we've never had peace without violence.
Okay, but how do you get to peace with violence? It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if you actually get there though, but it's very entertaining.
So you're telling me that I have to accept that our entertainment is going to be violent. That's just
well,
the way
no,
it
not
is.
all of it.
Okay,
not all of it, because some people don't like boxing and football and things of that nature. Sports that are violent. You know, people
is there a
prefer.
drop now in the popularity?
No. Football is the number one sport.
No, it's gone up. Okay.
Yeah.
Randy's saying it's gone up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can't pretend that I'm not happy to hear that.
No. See, you're just going to the games just to go to the games to be pretty. See, everybody else is going to really... And NFL is a great organization.
Actually, let me qualify. I also go to the games because it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether I win or lose. So I put $1 bet. I'm the first one that does the boxes on Super Bowl Sunday. So I do have other reasons.
Exactly
and,
that.
And you're right.
And that's how NFL got females to get ladies to get involved with the game. Because of that. Fantasy football. Absolutely.
Interesting.
They are a great marketing company. That's not a football organization. They're a marketing company. Other brands come to them because of that. And that's how they cross over with that betting. You may not even know if you're from Denver, you're a fan. If you bet, you can have the pool at the office and participate and wear the colors and all that.
Yeah. Wear the cheese on the head.
They're doing that's going to be a trick. Watch and see what I tell you. The Super Bowl will be pay-per-view in the near future. Watch what I tell you.
Okay, back to concussion. So you are doing things now because it isn't going to go away, but to make it safer.
And the game is not going to go away. And they are doing things to make it safer. And the Congress, NFL Congress, we've partnered up with the NFL licensing. We manufacture jackets now, and part of our proceeds goes to Players Care, which is an organization that looks after players. We represent over 18,000 former players, and in that program, we're putting final expense insurance so we don't become a burden on our family when we pass. And we're doing medical clinics for research and development for bringing kids that suffer concussions back to play and back to school.
Do you have any mental health, emotional care for what I see as, young kids who have a natural talent in athletics are only valued for that? They see the money that it brings. They're not balanced in their emotional state. They don't know how to be interpersonally effective. Either they go the beating the women way, or they go the, use the money in a not smart way and then lose all their money and end up homeless. Is there any kind of, do you see the loadedness of that question?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have an agenda here.
Well, the money thing is real tough, though, because what happens with the finances, my experience is we make a lot of money for a short period of time. The life expectancy career-wise for a football player is only 3 years. And I think that it's bad for the NFL to actually pay these kids that much money. You're coming off of a $1,200 monthly stipend to a $16 million. You don't understand money at 20.
Exactly.
I look at money different at 55 than I looked at 22. So, I think they should give the money to the kids in benchmarks. I think that there's no sense in giving a kid $10 million signing bonus and a $2 million salary, because now Uncle Sam's your partner. So your first 4 years, you're trying to understand what money is. And your second 4 years, if you last that long, you partner with Uncle Sam and he's taking everything. So, and I tell kids the formula for success, and there's a formula for failure. A baby mama, a divorce, a uncle's barbershop that went bad, and having all the homies hang around you. That's a formula for failure. You're gonna file bankruptcy because there's nothing else on this earth you're gonna be able to do. Most guys, I'm gonna say like 90% of them, to make $100,000 a month. They'd be lucky to make $100,000 a year, but you've created an $80,000 overhead for yourself, if not 110.
Right.
You're gonna file bankruptcy. You can't keep up with that when you stop playing. And there's no guaranteed contracts in the NFL. You're week to week. You can get cut from 1 week to the next week, and your salary stops then.
Okay.
So
I'm just taking you out of politics now. You should have a school that trains. I hope your organization actually is sort of a coaching.
yeah, well, it's it is and it is and it is, because we try to let kids know about our own experience so we can give testimonies.
would
The
be
challenge that you have with these young kids right now
They
is
think
there's
they know everything.
benchmarks, driver's license and money, especially in our community. You give a kid a driver's license, he's a different kid. And you give a kid money like that, he's a different kid. He's buying Bentleys and jewelry and everything that doesn't really mean anything, because those are his dreams. I understand that. The kids that we work under, though, we get them. You'll buy a house in Moreno Valley. You'll pay cash for that house. It'll be $200,000, and then you'll take that $200,000, pay cash for the house, rent that house out, and then use that money to buy the Bentley, because you're only going to lease it for 2 years anyway.
Right.
So you bought a $300,000 Bentley that next year you're going to sell for $200,000. That's a bad investment.
Right.
Yeah. So we try to change the dynamics of the investment.
Good.
Yeah, we have a credit union too that's coming soon too to the NFL. That's going to be real exciting too, which is going to allow guys to kind of go longer with their careers.
Now you know why I have him on the show. He's got lots of solutions. That's great. So you're going to be honored at the Champion Fund Gala.
I am.
Yeah, and I'm so bummed. I'm actually going to be out of town speaking myself.
You're not
so
singing?
I won't be able.
I thought you were going to come sing. You're not going to come sing?
Agape International Choir is going to come to sing, as far as I know, but I ain't going to be there. So I'm a first soprano diva, so you'll be missing one diva. But all my sisters and brothers are fabulous.
That's great.
I just feel bad that I'll miss it, but I get a whole show with you, so there you go, right? And that event is so we can promote it, and anyone that wants to get a ticket or to donate towards that can. They go to championfund.org, and they get to register there, correct, and support a very, very great organization. And they specifically, I think at the top of the show, you talked what they help at-risk.
Yeah, at-risk kids. But the key is they do a lot over there. They really do. And we have a app right now, a company that we're working with called 5 Miles. It's a program that we're going to do with celebrities. and we can get celebrities to donate something that in there. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So something that's just laying around your house, you can take a picture of it, put it on 5 Miles app. All the proceeds will go to a charity of choice. And so we're going to do a good big campaign because we want to raise probably around $100 million for
Small.
yeah, just a little money, not
Just
a
a
whole lot, just 100 million. We can make a difference with that, a little
Absolutely.
bit, change
Just
a few
little.
lives. Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So that's 5 Miles. The gala is May 14th. And I always end my shows with who would you like to thank? Oh, before that, I'm going to give him Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award to Rhonda. And I don't give every guest that award.
Well, thank you.
I really don't. But you certainly, I knew when I saw the bio and when I had talked to Randy that I wanted to have you on to do that. So two things. One is, what's your message to the world, to my listeners, on what they can do to make peace a reality in this lifetime?
Keep God first and pray. Prayer is strong. And I really think that we have to really start with that foundation. Because if we start praying more, God will give us the answers that's in front of us right now, and then we'll follow that direction, and we'll be fine.
All right. And then the last thing is, who would you like to thank? Who out there who's going to be listening to this again, who are the people that you would like to give some peace in, peace out, shout out, and love?
That's a good one. There's a big list.
We've got time. We actually have time.
Yeah.
Jarvis
well,
just.
I'd like to thank, my cousin. He's doing a lot of stuff, Big U over Development Options. He's doing a lot of stuff for helping a campaign to raise money to make a difference in these kids' life. I'd like to thank Snoop. Snoop's doing a lot of things in his football league that's helping a lot of kids. So because one thing we found out with our kids, and my grandma used to tell me all the time, is that idle mind is a devil's workshop. So these kids are actually active, playing football, doing a sport, learning the fundamentals of the game, which you can take and transition that to a lifestyle. Now,
Snoop as in Snoop?
Yeah,
okay.
Snoop as in Snoop. Yes, good friend of mine. Yeah, Snoop does a lot for the community, though. Snoop has been my guy for years. We've known each other for years.
Okay,
so. And the same thing with Jamie Foxx too, though. Fox does a lot of stuff for the community too, real quietly. That's kind of bringing back those. But there's a lot of guys that are friends of mine that I've known for years that are like giving back, and they're going to be part of this 5 Mile program, donating celebrity stuff to charities and stuff. And people, gravitate to that. These guys have over 30 million plus Twitter followers, and if you can get $1 from each one of them, we can make a difference.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, right.
I just had this great thought to have a show. I'll bring Marianne from Gilligan's Island back on here, Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver, and have Snoop and you and Jamie. Wouldn't that be a great panel?
Yeah, that'd be a good. Could we fit in here?
Yeah, I'll make it happen. I'll go get another camera. I'll make it happen. Wouldn't that be a great show?
I think it would be.
Yeah. Do they ask them if they would come on with if they like Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, everybody loves Gilligan's
There you
Island.
go.
You kidding?
Marianne, you hear that?
And the Skipper too.
Well, Skipper's gone. Skipper.
I know,
Skipper,
but
he had to beam in from the other side.
Yeah, I know.
But Marianne's a good friend of mine.
Is she?
Yeah, she's been on the show 3 times.
I was a big fan of hers.
Oh, really?
Big fan.
Okay. Well, there we go. Don Wells, you just heard it. Another guest loves you. I went and played poker at her place the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, we could come and do poker here. And then a football bet. This is like going in all in the wrong direction with the money. But anyways, okay. So Snoop and then Jamie is a good person.
And I do a lot of stuff with the tribes too. San Manuel, Saboba, Morongo, Pachanga. Those tribes, they do a lot of stuff in the community too.
That's
and
great
I'd like
to
to say
know.
thank you for all their support.
Ah.
Yeah, the Pachanga does a great job with us with our homeless shelter down in Temecula called God's Fan Club. They really support us down there. We have a golf tournament coming up Monday, matter of fact.
This money, is it too late for anybody that wants to join that?
No, they can call us,
Okay. Where do golf?
ProjectTouch.com. They can.
ProjectTouch.com. Okay.
God's Fan Club. Yeah, we're going to be at Pachanga on this next Monday.
Next Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So golf, anybody that wants to do golf. Another one? We're going to plug every single place this is good. This is a good chance because this is what I tell my listeners, or especially new listeners. There is no reason, I don't care how little money you have, there is no reason why you cannot help either with $1 or with your time. And
Yes.
there's, you do not need to be watching K-word shows. You do not, Kardashian, whatever the idol, it doesn't really matter. I'm all for a little bit of entertainment, but when you sit for an entire weekend watching one certain channel or Netflix, I'm sorry Netflix, but showing C and D movies that couldn't make it to the big screen, and you're just like sitting there I'm sorry, that's not the way. And then you complain about the unhappiness that you're experiencing in your life and how you need to pop a pill that has side effects that are going to kill you. That is not living.
No.
So here, the other reason I bring guests like you is here are some great organizations that you can become involved with. So I don't want to hear it. Okay, go ahead. There's another one.
Yeah. No, I'm brain dead right now, but I know there's a lot of people probably gonna say, "Man, why you didn't mention me?" I'm thinking,
That's okay.
yeah,
That's
next
okay.
time.
Next time, when you come back
Yeah.
with
But
Snoop.
but I like to thank Stan Kroenke too, though, the owner of the Rams, though, because
Okay.
we're talking to him about doing some real exciting things in Carson. We're going to build a whole sports facility down there.
Yay.
That's going to be incredible. We have basketball, football. We're going to have 14 football, soccer fields out there, and that's coming together real good too.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Isidore Hall is going to be helping us in that space, and Mark Wrigley Thomas too, though. So, Mayor Carson. So we're doing some real exciting things in the community that kind of make a difference with these kids' lives coming up.
That's fabulous. And when you do get on social media, I'll send everybody over to like your page because I do
Okay.
like everything that you are doing. And then if there are any single NFL players
Uh-huh.
that like, talk show hosts, you can also go there.
Yeah, no, and there's a bunch of them.
I'm really going to like having you back on here. Thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you
It's
for
been
having me.
fabulous
It's been
having
great.
you
Thank
here.
you very much.
That was so fun. Who would have thought, right? NFL on here. And we're at the end of the show where I invite you to my balance bar, which is all the activities that are outside of this show that happen not on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So the first one is my 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa. Today is day 19, and the balance tip for today is do not go to the tractor for milk. We complain about people, places, and situations that just are. They are not going to change no matter how often we try to change them and no matter how much we complain about them. Acceptance is the balance tool that will take away the negative energy called complaining, also known as nagging. So today, if you're tempted to complain about someone's inability to be kind, sweet, or loving, maybe they're just a tractor incapable of giving milk at this time, go find a cow. And you have one thing that you want to add. Yes?
I have to
Yes.
say thank you to Randy for having me on the show, too, and to the Champion Fund with Children's Hospital. That's more important. They're great.
That's great.
Thank you for all your help, Randy. Thank you for all your
Yay.
support.
Randy
Keep the good
Cohen
job
is
doing.
here. She didn't want to be on camera. Let's do another. Go support the Champion Fund, May 14th. And big news, you can come to Costa Rica to the Rhythmia Resort to get balanced and pampered at the same time. I've been invited there to teach Tai Chi Qigong, my balanced Tai Qigong, June 18th. So if you want to have a vacation that you will not have to have another vacation to recover from, then go and register at rhythmia.com. RYTHMIA.com. Would love to spend some time with you. Moving meditation, balanced Tai Qigong, promoting inner peace, one breath at a time. And I will also be teaching balanced Tai Qigong at the Revelation Conference, where Dr. Barbara DeAngelis, whose husband was a past guest of mine on the show, Dr. John Gray. And other guests there will be Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith and my choir. Actually, it's not my choir. It's Ricky BB's choir. Agape International Spiritual Center's once a year fabulous conference where people come from all countries to gather together in total love, total joy. So register at agapelive.com. Next week, it is that time of the month. It is Sexual Healing with Dr. Marissa, my last week of the month show where I am determined to make pleasure a G-rated topic. And combining Dr. Marissa, the new Asian Dr. Ruth, and the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, I'm expanding my call-ins and my advice that I don't take to help people with their relationships, with their romance, and maybe even their sex life. So that's next week, so tune in for another scintillating episode of Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out.
I learned to cry at an early age. People around me, my heart in a cage. Life was a book, don't turn a page. I couldn't see past my rage. I wanted to dance, but I pushed you away. Now I'm on my knees, I'll listen to what you say. And you said, be my partner, dance with me. Just hold on, I will lead. Don't be afraid if you can't see.